Hi, I'm Bill Patrick. The program you're about to see is part of a vintage series called Car and Track, which was originally produced during the first half of the 1970s. Before we begin the show, though, a brief program note. Using as many as 8 cameras to shoot a single event, Car and Track captured some of the great NASCAR competitions of the era, one race at a time. Over the course of some 80 episodes through 6 seasons, series producer and host Bud Lindeman lovingly documented a unique era in American motor racing. While the race action contained in the series remains timeless, the program itself has not dated quite so gracefully. Although the years have not been overly kind to Bud's decidedly low-key introductions and interviews, we believe them to be an integral part of this one-of-a-kind series. So please, stay with us now as Speed Vision presents a rare slice of 1970s Americana, Car and Track.
The show is Car and Track, and that's precisely what we're going to do. Take a close, honest look at a car. Our subject this week is the 442 from Oldsmobile, and we gave our test car a no-holds-barred ring-out. For the track part, we're going to take you to Charlotte Motor Speedway in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's one of the best mile-and-a-half tracks in the world, and it's right in the heart of NASCAR's racing country. The race, the World 600. The only stock car race we know that keeps the action going for a full 600 miles. It's 100 miles longer than Daytona, Indianapolis, and Riverside, and 100 miles tougher on the cars and the men who drive them. It hasn't been the best year that the good old boys of NASCAR remember. The Ford Motor Company pulled their money out of racing early in the season. Chrysler left only enough dollars to sponsor 2 cars, Richard Petty's Plymouth and Buddy Baker's Dodge. And the long drought continued for the General Motors fans who were still begging for a hero. And just to spice the cake, NASCAR boss Bill France, the czar of Southern motorsports, imposed carburetor restrictor plates on all Grand National stock cars. You see, speeds were approaching man's limitations. There had been too many blown engines and too many bad wrecks. Well, the plates would fix all that. But they'd also kill engine development and provoke some questions about fairness. It looked like a whole new ball game.
Then came the 12th annual World 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's the longest stock car race in the world, and maybe, just maybe, this one would mark the beginning of a new era. Despite threatening skies, the fans flocked to the Speedway as they never have before. 78,000 strong, shattering all previous attendance records. There are the usual Ford fans and Plymouth fans, the Mercury Rooters, and the Dodge boys. But the big crowd comes for the big surprise. Sergeant Charlie Glatzbach had walked away from the qualifying field to put his Junior Johnson-prepared Chevrolet, that's right, Chevrolet, on the pole. His speed, a blistering 157.788 miles an hour. His owner, Charlotte's general manager, Richard Howard, a guy who needed a big crowd at his race and knew just how to get them there. But Glatzbach isn't alone. The outside pole sitter, Bobby Allison, in the Holman Moody Mercury. The number 3 challenger, Bobby Isaac, in his record-setting Dodge. And then a pack of Plymouths, Fred Lorenzen, Richard Petty, and Pete Hamill. Behind them, the rest of the 40-car field, the best in stock car racing. And Glatzbach leads them screaming to the green flag. Charlie and his Chevy are no myth. He takes command in lap 1 and the GM fans go wild. Bobby Allison and Fred Lorenzen dice for second as Charlie strengthens his lead. They fly by the start-finish line with the white number 3 Chevy running sweet and strong. Bobby Allison has other plans. It looks like his Holman Moody Mercury will run with the mystery Chevy. Charlotte's going to see some real racing today. It's Glatzbach, Allison, and Lorenzen. Chevy, Merc, and Plymouth fighting for the front. It's something for everyone. Glatzbach is handling well in the corners, but Allison is coming on in the straights. And the Petty Blue number 43 Plymouth sits fourth, running flat out. lap 15 and hold everything. Havoc in turn 4. Maynard Troyer, car 60, loses his 69 Merc and smacks the wall, taking Charlie Roberts' 77 Ford with him. Spin one at 150 plus miles an hour, and look out. The yellow caution's out before the spinning and screaming is half over, and Troyer plows wildly out of control to the infield grass. He's okay, but for Charlie Roberts, this party's all over. Glotzbach roars into the pits. Bobby Allison's right behind him. It's all a blur as the pit crews swap rubber and spill gas. The leaders are in and out as the pits fill with the rest of the field. Restart. The green flag flaps and they explode down the straight. 155, 160, 170 miles per hour. Three abreast. Allison on the inside, Glotzbach in the middle, and on the outside, James Hilton. This is real racing. Bobby Allison's number 12 is a pretty sight to the Mercury fans as he leads Glotzbach through turn 4. That's Hilton and Dave Marcus in the 3rd and 4th spots. Bobby holds. That's Troyer on the inside and Glotzbach. And moving up, the number 21 Mercury of Donnie Allison. He's fresh from a 6th place finish at the Indy 500 just yesterday. And you can bet he came here to race too. It's a private party now for the brothers Allison, strictly a family affair. Sergeant Charlie and the Chevy haven't left the running. It's just pit stop time for him. Gas and rubber for the white number 3 of the Johnson crew really hustles. The skeptics predicted that the trick Chevy would break early. But Junior Johnson has other ideas. Bobby Allison is back in the lead with Charlie Glotzbach pushing his rear bumper. They roar by the slower traffic, and the clock on the leaders say 35 seconds to tour the 1.5 miles, or 155 miles per hour. The fans wave Charlie on. Glotzbach slips past Bobby to take the lead. It doesn't look like the Chevy is tired at all, and Allison's got to work even harder now. There's still plenty of life in this pack. Don't forget Donnie Allison. Uh-oh, it's all over for Bobby Isaac. He's KO'd by debris in his radiator. Allison and Glotzbach pick up the pace, and Allison noses into the lead. pit stop. And so does brother Donnie. They're in, out, and ready to race. Okay, you guys, look out. Charlie Boy has finished fooling around, and he smacks Donnie Allison in the rear end, bounces off, and grazes the wall. Charlie has the lead now, and he's holding it. The crowd cheers as Glotzbach screams into the pits. On lap 235, Ron Keselowski, number 88, comes in with a broken front wheel. Oh no, a spinner smashes the wall on the front straight. It's Charlie Glotzbach. He's out of the car and okay, but the Chevy fans just died on him. Charlie swerved to avoid a slower car and lost it near the wall. Car owner Richard Howard said, "Chevy, you may be tore up now, but you were a real doll." It was good day to the car that packed the stands, but you can bet this Chevy will be back to race another day. After a 5-lap caution, the green comes out, and the Allison boys and their Mercuries own the whole Speedway. Bobby and Donnie dice side by side for the lead, but the scoreboard tells us it's all Bobby. Donnie has fallen 1 lap behind and is now second. And 2 laps down from the leaders are Pete Hamilton, number 6, and Richard Petty in 43, fighting it out for third. The Plymouths just don't have the steam, and the Mercs continue to walk away. Suddenly, the caution flag is out again. Number 93, Richard Brown, stuffs his Chevy into the wall in turn 2, spilling oil all over the track. It's pit stop time, and the fans are treated to the best and fastest auto servicing in the world. You know, they change 2 tires, pour in 14 gallons of gas by hand, wipe the windshield, give the driver a drink, and say a prayer, all in less than 24 seconds. That's fast action. Here's the famous country singer, Marty Robbins, in a Dodge. The green flag is out, and they're at it again. Bobby and Donnie, the racing Allisons, in a fender-to-fender duel, lap after lap. Bobby has the lead and is 1 lap ahead. Then Donnie passes to be second and in the same lap. It's Bobby first, Tony second, Hamilton third, and Petty fourth. And Bobby Allison's number 12 Mercury flies through the final laps as strong as it did at the start. It's your day, Bobby, and the rest of the world just can't touch you. The white flag signals 1 lap to go. Robert Arthur Allison, a son of Hueytown, Alabama, streaks toward the finish line with room to spare. Charlotte's checkered flag is his. It's a sweet victory for Bobby, who's finished second to his brother 4 times. His average speed, 140 plus, the fastest 600 ever. His paycheck, almost $30,000. Allison outlasted the Chevrolet, and the GM fans still wonder if he could have outraced it. But this World 600 is history.
The love affair between men and cars is an old story, and the reasons for it are many. Probably the strongest is the thrill that a true car lover feels from the power, agility, and responsiveness of a truly fine automobile. We in America are at a time when concern for safety and environment are threatening much of what makes men love cars. Here we test an Oldsmobile 442 convertible, a car that has just about everything that car lovers love. But it may be the last of the breed.
Convertibles have been on the way out for years, yet this Olds is clean, husky, and handsome. The front is uncluttered, with a down-to-business feeling about it. It's a muscle machine, and they haven't tried to hide it. The 442 sits wide on the road, big enough to enjoy even if you have friends. Under the hood, the biggest of the big in the cubic inch race, the Olds 455 Cube V8, with all the goodies that have made W30 synonymous with power. It's a strong, smooth engine that's always ready to put the torque where you need it. We knew it'd run. It gave us 0 to 30 in 2.7 seconds, the kind of acceleration you may never use until that one time on the road. The 442 stopped the clock at 4.9 seconds for 0 to 50. It always came on straight and sure. 0 to 70 is a long haul, but the Olds did it in 7.3 seconds. It all proves that the juice is there if you ever need it to get out of the way. They're no good if they don't handle. The Olds dance through the tight pylon course like a ballerina. Never a loss of control. Minimum body roll, quick, sure steering. If this car runs the pylons like this, it'll forgive any sudden movement of the wheel on the highway. It'll do what a good car is supposed to. A slow motion look at that again, and it appears easy. Notice how the front and rear stay together. The Oldsmobile engineers have done this one right on. It's a 3,600-pound brute, but it steers and handles like a lightweight. Front-wheel disc brakes have been a blessing to strong cars. This 442 stopped from 30 miles an hour in 37 feet. 30 doesn't sound like much until you have to throw the anchor out. It took our driver 87 feet to halt the Olds at 50 miles an hour. There's still time enough for a heads-up driver. 70 miles per hour is fast, but we've all been on highways where it's the cruising speed. The Olds used up 191 feet to a standstill from 70. When you're driving that fast, you better leave some room. Oh, that convertible and that great feeling of freedom. On the tight corners, it sat low, went where it was sent. Spinning a car out in reverse is the best test of stability there is. And the 442 came out of this one like a champ. If it doesn't misbehave here, it never will. An expert driver can make any car do tricks, but it was especially easy in this Oldsmobile. There wasn't a button on it that didn't come from the factory. Nothing that any buyer couldn't order. And the stock heavy-duty suspension was all that anyone would ever need for the security and enjoyment of hard cornering. Finely engineered suspension will never be on the anti-auto list. It doesn't add to the pollution, and it doesn't make a car anything but safer and more pleasurable to drive. The 442 W30 suspension is one of the best. No, we haven't said anything bad about this car. Matter of fact, we've kind of enjoyed throwing it the accolades. Sure, we could have nitpicked about the ashtray or the rear legroom or something, but there was so much to like in the 442, and we're going to miss what progress takes from it.
This has been a half hour of happy time for us. We like Bobby Allison's victory at Charlotte. He's a fierce competitor, a talented performer, and above all, a most likable gentleman. We were glad that the 600 left no more than a few smashed cars and the broken hopes of all the drivers who finished second, and the fans who cheered for them. And of course, you know we like the Olds 442. Like all the cars we test, we asked it to do more than you would in your normal driving. We have to like the ones that pass because we know that you'll be safer driving them. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Marshall Spiegel, who did a great job on the script for this show. Till next week, drive carefully, won't you?